From the station working for you, this is WRTV News at 7, streaming now.
New information tonight about when thousands of Central Indiana students will return to in-person learning. Thanks for joining us here at 7 o'clock. I'm Mark Mullins.
And I'm Amanda Starrentino. Indianapolis Public Schools just announced students will gradually return to classrooms beginning October 5th. IPS students have been learning from home since August because of the pandemic. On October 5th, pre-K through 3rd grade students will return to the classroom. All students will be remote October 12th, which is the district's fall break. Then on Monday, October 9th, students up to 5th grade will be in class 5 days a week. Grades 6 through 12 will start with a hybrid model, 3 days remote and 2 days in person, depending on their last names. And beginning tomorrow, IPS families can let the district know if they wish to continue with fully remote learning. The sign-up window runs until September 21st.
In Washington Township, the school board has approved a new plan to gradually bring students back to schools. Students in preschool through 2nd grade will return October 12th, right after fall break. Students in grades 3 through 12 will go back 1 week later, October 19th. Middle and high school students will be on a hybrid schedule. The school district says students who wish to continue full-time virtual learning will be allowed to do so. The district will go back to virtual learning for all students if Marion County's positive COVID-19 test rate goes back up to 8% or higher.
Today, the State Department of Health reported an additional 20 COVID-19 deaths that were recorded between September 5th and yesterday. An additional 758 Hoosiers have tested positive for the virus. The 7-day positivity rate of all COVID tests is 4.8%. As of yesterday, the Department of Health says 809 people in the state are in the hospital with COVID-19.
Joe Biden and President Trump are focusing on battleground states today and especially undecided voters. According to the Kaiser Family Foundation, about 1 in 4 voters is still uncommitted in the race for president. Biden made stops in Florida today. President Trump is in Pennsylvania, where he's participating in an ABC News town hall. The President and the People, a national conversation, begins at 9 o'clock right here on WRTV. Biden will have a similar event with ABC on Thursday.
Checking in now with Storm Team meteorologist Alyssa Donovan. Alyssa, it has been wonderful out today.
That's right. It's been a beautiful day. Those temperatures just a little bit below average. Right now we're at 73 degrees and it has been mostly sunny. However, it's been hard to see a lot of that sunshine because of that wildfire smoke that's filtered into the area from the west. We'll continue to see that impact throughout our Wednesday as well before things clear out by Thursday. Low humidity has made it really pleasant outside. As we head into the evening, we'll see clear skies. Temperatures are going to drop quite a bit because we won't have those clouds to insulate us from that cooler and drier air. So we'll be into the 50s by tomorrow morning with some areas possibly into the upper 40s to start your Wednesday morning. Looking ahead, though, we'll see mostly sunny skies for your Wednesday. Highs will creep up into the low 80s. That will be the warmest day in the forecast. Over the next couple days, we'll start to drop off. We're going to see a cold front pass that will drop us into the 70s for our daytime highs, our overnight lows into the 40s.
We're learning the details of the settlement reached between the city of Louisville and the family of Breonna Taylor. The EMT was shot to death in her own home by police in March. ABC's Rena Roy explains the historic multi-million-dollar settlement, which includes policy changes for Louisville law enforcement.
This is believed to be one of the largest settlements for police misconduct in Louisville history. It also includes a police reform package after calls for change swept the nation. A big step for the loved ones of Breonna Taylor in their fight for justice.
The Louisville Metro government has settled the civil lawsuit with her estate.
The family of the 26-year-old EMT receiving $12 million from the city of Louisville after filing a wrongful death lawsuit. The city also agreeing to implement policy changes in the police department, including requiring commanders to approve all search warrants before going to a judge.
This is about setting a precedence. We cannot let her life be swept under the rug.
Calls for a systemic overhaul in policing have been echoing coast to coast following Taylor's death. Protesters still demanding criminal accountability 6 months later. One of the 3 officers involved in Taylor's death was fired, but none of them have been charged.
It's time to move forward with the criminal charges because she deserves that and much more. So please continue to say her name, Breonna Taylor.
You can hear Taylor's boyfriend, Kenneth Walker, pleading for help that fateful night.
Help! Oh my God! Yes, help! What's your name, sir?
Walker, who filed his own lawsuit against the city and police earlier this month, says he and Taylor were asleep when officers broke down the door on a warrant, and in self-defense, he fired a warning shot. Walker is claiming immunity under Kentucky's standard ground law.
I am a legal gun owner, and I would never knowingly shoot a police officer.
Police initially charged Walker with attempted murder, but those charges were later dropped without prejudice, meaning they could be refiled. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
The hospitality industry has taken a hit throughout the pandemic, but leaders with the new hotel in Carmel say they've actually been staying busy. In fact, they've already had to hire around a dozen additional employees. WRTV's Megan Santorum found out why that might be and what they expect to see moving forward.
Events are scheduled and rooms are being booked. Leaders with this new hotel say they've had a strong first few weeks, even in the midst of a pandemic. Sitting right in the heart of downtown Carmel, Hotel Carmichael has seen a steady stream of guests in just the first few weeks of operation.
And quite honestly, it's been a little crazy.
Zachary Tharp is the director of sales here. He says weddings have been huge for them.
We actually had 5 weddings booked the first weekend we were open, and it's kind of continued.
He says the hotel company Marriott has social distancing guidelines they follow. They also abide by directives from the state. Hamilton County is not an area where local leaders created more restrictive guidelines like those in Marion County did just to the south. In addition to weddings, leaders here say the uniqueness of the hotel has drawn a lot of people looking for staycations.
The staycations are great as well. Corporate business is still, large groups are not happening, but we do have small groups, 10 to 20, that are coming in the hotel.
The hotel was part of a public-private partnership, and the city of Carmel helped support it with bonds. Carmel leaders say they're confident the city will get their investment back.
Personally, it's the bigger picture that's always driven me. I know how important this hotel is to the city. Pandemic or anything else that may happen short term is not going to derail the long-term effect of this hotel on our downtown.
Working for you, Megan Santorum, WRTV.
The hotel does have additional job openings. You can learn how to apply in this story at WRTV.com.
A local activist and artist believes that after 2020, we should all have a clear vision when it comes to change. And to help with movement toward equality, he's using his paintbrush and his presence in his own community to see that initiative through. WRTV's Troy Washington has the story tonight.
I'm from the east side of Indianapolis, 34th and Sherman. Actually, right here beside the mural, I went to the elementary school that used to be here, Susan Rowe Leach School 68, but they're closed down now. But that's where I went to elementary school. So this is actually an area that, like, I'm just have nostalgia of what I got memories with.
Billy Hoodoo is an artist, but aside from letting his work do all the talking, he's also on the front lines in his community molding youth.
I'm a member of an organization called BMI, Black Male Initiative.
The Black Lives Matter movement only recently erupted, but Hoodoo has been working since his college days, pushing for equality with emphasis on youth.
We have to give them a structure to organize with and to move forward with. One of the main aspects that I feel like will move us forward is the growth and development of our youth.
For him, the murals are just a jumping off point.
Black Lives Matter, I see that as an opportunity to let people know, make people more aware of what's going on, and get ideas about what they could do.
The point is to make people think about what they can do to bring change and equality. He paints murals just like this one for free. He's hoping that the more people drive past paintings like this one, the more they'll have to realize the movement won't disappear without progress.
You can see the M is sideways, which is a sum of numeric equation. And then that's the pi symbol, so this is saying Black Lives Matter for the sum of eternity.
Working for you on the east side, Troy Washington, WRTV.
And if you are looking to have a free mural painted for your business, those details are on our website at WRTV.com.
Still ahead on the news at 7, what top health officials are saying to ease concerns about whether a COVID vaccine will be safe.
From the state station working for you. This is WRTV News at 7, streaming now.
The race to come up with a safe and effective coronavirus vaccine is underway, but the true hurdle could be getting people to get vaccinated. In the U.S., people are voicing real concerns over the rush to roll it out. Mandy Geither explains their worries.
Either side that politicizes this, again, is working against the goal for that, what I'm trying to accomplish, which is to get American culture to be of a point of view to vaccinate with confidence.
President Donald Trump has frequently said he believes a coronavirus vaccine will be ready by Election Day, while U.S. Surgeon General Dr. Jerome Adams says the vaccine is possible but not probable by that date. A new poll from the Kaiser Family Foundation shows 62% of Americans believe political pressure from the Trump administration will cause the U.S. Food and Drug Administration to approve a vaccine before it's found to be safe and effective. But the director of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says his agency will not put politics over safety.
That the only thing that's going to dictate this process is data and science.
Even if a vaccine is ready by Election Day, 54% of those polled said they wouldn't get vaccinated, even if the vaccine was made available and free to everyone who wanted it. Dr. Redfield says the last thing this country needs during a pandemic is more concern about vaccines. For today's Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Coming up, the devastating impact wildfires are having on wildlife.
And temperatures are falling as we head through the week. Tomorrow's going to be the warmest day in the forecast. I'll have all the details coming up next.
Historic flooding with up to 30 inches of rainfall is expected along parts of the Gulf Coast as Hurricane Sally slows to a crawl. The storm is aimed at Mississippi, Alabama, and the Florida Panhandle. In Gulf Shores, Alabama, a pier that's usually high out of the water is completely covered. As the storm moves closer, you can see the wind and waves kicking up, and some boards there appear to be missing. In Florida, a barge hit a 3-mile bridge that connects Gulf Breeze and Pensacola. Authorities closed the bridge just before 9 a.m. The Florida Department of Transportation is sending a team of engineers to assess the damage. Alyssa.
And lucky for us, we are not going to see an impact from Hurricane Sally. I want to show you, though, it's tracking into the Gulf right now. That's expected to make landfall tomorrow. As Amanda just said, the good news is it is going to veer off to the right back out into the Atlantic. So we're not going to see an impact here from it. The most we will see is maybe a little bit of cloud coverage just as it tracks northward out of the area. So there's a look by Thursday afternoon. Really, that's when we'll see a little bit of cloud coverage that we can attribute to Hurricane Sally. Now, there are some other Atlantic systems that the Hurricane Center is keeping an eye on right now. On the other side of the U.S., we have those wildfires burning. That is impacting us as well. We're seeing a little bit of a haze in the sky right now. That is due to those wildfires and the smoke being pushed our way due to the jet stream. Temperatures are in the 70s. We're going to continue to see that haze in the air tomorrow with mostly sunny skies. So it's going to be a similar day, however, a bit of a warmer day. That low humidity will still be a factor as well, so it will be another comfortable day. Overnight, though, a little cooler. We're going to see clear skies, and that's going to allow us to cool down quite a bit. We won't have those clouds to insulate us from that cooler and drier overnight air, which means our temperatures by tomorrow morning will be into the low 50s and upper 40s, and that's just the start of the cool down. We're going to cool down quite a bit more as we head towards the weekend, and that is because of a front that's going to move through on Thursday. Tomorrow, though, get outside and enjoy it. 82 degrees for the high. That is going to be our warmest day in the forecast. Looking ahead to Wednesday night and into Thursday, that's when we have this cold front that's going to drop down from the north. That's going to pass through Indiana. Could bring a small chance of a shower, mainly to the north, but most of us are just going to see some cloud coverage as it passes through, and then it's going to drop down a cold air mass that's going to continue to take our temperatures down for the weekend. It's also going to push out a lot of that wildfire smoke that's been impacting us the past couple days. Looking ahead to Thursday, 73 degrees for the high, partly sunny skies, and then those temperatures just continue to drop off. So we have about a 10-degree drop between tomorrow and Thursday, and then we are going to see those overnight lows in the 40s for the weekend.
Thank you, Alyssa. Wildfires are raging across the western part of the country, as we've been reporting, burning land and buildings and sending smoke into the air. And a new study says that since 1992, 97% of fires that have threatened homes were caused by humans. Researchers at the University of Colorado at Boulder use wildfire and housing information to reach that number. Researchers found that 59 million homes sit within areas that at some point were less than half a mile from a wildfire. The human causes range from debris cleaning, equipment use, and arson. Climate change is being blamed for conditions that have let the wildfires spread. Tonight, Dan Grossman shows you how these fires are believed to have killed some endangered birds and what long-range data shows us about the increasing number of catastrophic fires.
The forest is dead, and it is silent. Small plumes are the only remnants of a fire, once very much alive, that reduced soil to ash.
It is quite emotional.
And Kelly Sorensen's chances of finding the 9 California condors that call this canopy home. He shot this video 2 weeks ago as the fire was approaching. This area is now inaccessible.
This event is a real kick in the gut, and I go back and forth from anger to grief.
When Kelly joined the Ventana Wildlife Society in the 1980s, there were only 22 California condors in the world. Today, there are more than 500, but it is still considered a critically endangered species.
So we only have the 9 that are missing, but still, 9 is a big number.
That now finds itself more at risk because of these fires, which have ballooned in number and size because of climate change.
If we have lost 9 free-flying condors in just this one event, it would more than double the known cases caused by wildfire.
The Center for Climate and Energy Solutions says between 1984 and 2015, the number of large wildfires in the western United States doubled. It also estimates that for every 1 degree Celsius rise in Earth's temperature, the average burn area from a wildfire could increase by up to 600% in some places.
We have 2 of the 3 largest wildfires in California's history burning right now, so it is a simple fact.
Dr. Noah Diffenbaugh is a professor of Earth System Science and senior fellow at Stanford University. He says in the last 40 years, there has been a 10-fold increase in the amount of land burned by wildfires. Just look at California's largest. All but 3 have occurred since the year 2000, with 4 of them sparking in just the last month and a half.
Very careful, objective, hypothesis-driven research has shown that about half of that increase in the area burned in the western United States is attributable to the long-term warming.
The science is pretty straightforward. As temperature rises, fuels dry out more easily, making less prone areas spark plugs for fires. Then add in the changes in humidity, wind speeds, and long-term weather patterns that are all affected by climate change, and wildfires become larger, stronger, and more frequent.
We're still going to have further intensification of wildfire risks. We're living in a world with greater wildfire risk from 1 degree warming. 2 degrees warming will intensify those risks.
These trees stand as cautionary tales of that risk.
We're all looking for these birds, and we're not finding them.
That could have an effect on entire species. I'm Dan Grossman.
A major toy brand is getting rid of plastic packaging. Lego is phasing out plastic in favor of recyclable paper. The new bags will start to show up in Lego boxes next year. The Danish toy maker says it's part of a $400 million investment in sustainability initiatives over the next 3 years. Lego came up with the idea after getting a lot of letters from kids asking why they were still using single-use plastics in boxes.
And it's going to be a little cool overnight. Temperatures dropping into the 50s. Tomorrow, though, our warmest day in the forecast, 82 degrees for the high with some sunshine. A little hazy, though, because of those wildfires. Temperatures dropping into the 70s by the weekend.
Thanks for making WRTV your choice for news. Our next newscast is tonight at 11. We'll see you then.